Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar. Hey, could you turn that monitor on since you're in the neighborhood? Yeah. See what happens. Yeah. I'm Guitar Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar, and they call me on the phone and say, "Hey, man, what's your show about anyway?" I say, "Well, it's about an hour about guitars, guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic." So if you want to call me up, the number will appear on your screen from time to time, and you could call the show. Ask a question about the care and feeding of your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you, related topics like the guitarron, sitar, guitarra, chitole, banjos, balalaikas, bazookas, bajos, sextos, tiples, cavaquinhos, lutes, ouds, vihuelas, anything with strings on it, trombones, tromba marinas, pipe organs, piccolos, clarinets, clavinets, valve trombones, cornetos, harpsichords, harmoniums, harmonicas. Anything musical is fine. Did I say pipe organs and piccolos? You can talk about, politics, world events, your own personality problems. That's fine. Keep it clean, though. This is a family program. Okay. So once I got here, guitar is perfectly in tune. I suppose when I get up here, it's like it plays out of tune up high. I don't know why. I haven't been playing this guitar very much. I'm playing tomorrow at the film scene Wednesday for the cocktail hour from like 4:30 to 6:30. That's 2 hours. But anyway, so I thought I'd just bring this guitar along so I could, play it here and get it all ready for tomorrow. Film scenes, we're in the middle, we're the beginning of Mission Creek, the Mission Creek Festival. So, but anyway, plays fine down here, but once I get up high, I could spend the rest of the show just finding clever ways to tune my guitar. People could listen and watch. Hang on, I'm sorry. I was doing fine, and then pitchfork. I call this a tuning fork, but that's an Iowa joke, because you get a pitch from it. You get a note like it's an A440, and I use that as a reference to tune the guitar. Okay, and then a retune. Try to tune to itself. That's supposed to be in tune. Ew! That's not bad. That's bad. Well, I'll just play stuff down here. Yeah. So we know this is out of tune. How about if I do this one? That's not so bad. I think I need a new set of strings. Too late for that now. I have a perfectly good set of strings on my desk at home. But I'm stuck here till 7 o'clock. So an announcement I'm going to make frequently is that at the end of the month, the last Tuesday, we always have a show from Uptown Bill's Coffee House, upstairs from us now. And this month it's going to be classical guitar. I'm going to try to round up all the classical guitarists, as many as I can, to play, and or if you just want to watch, it'll be in front of a live audience. So yeah, the 29th of April, 6 o'clock, Tuesday night, it'll be a Tom's Guitar Show at Uptown Bill's Coffee House. But it's all about classical guitar. And I'd really like to, see some people turn out. And it'd be nice if we could get a little classical guitar community here. So if, if somebody wanted to organize a concert or something, there'd be some infrastructure. Also, I'm going to do some exercises where we all play pieces, really well-known or standard pieces. Everybody plays them at the same time, so we have unison playing. Because someday it'd be great to have a quartet. Sorry, I don't sleep enough these days. So anyway, April 29th, classical guitar, classical guitarists, and all things classical guitar, which is my favorite, really. You might notice this is an electric classical guitar. It has a nylon strings. Anyway, nylon strings. Yeah, that's I have a lot of guitars. So anyway. Hang on, I gotta turn this knob. There we go. How about like 1, 2, 3, 4. clean phone. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, I want to keep mentioning this because I know people just channel surf, but if you happen to be here now, the 29th of April, we're going to have a Tom's Guitar Show special. It's all about classical guitar. It'll be upstairs at Uptown Bill's Coffee House. So it'll be 6 o'clock, 29th of April. So, sorry. I think it'd be an interesting event. I'll be there. I want to go there. But we'll see how many people have classical guitars we can flush out of the bushes or whatever. The woodwork, bushes, I don't know, man. I'm not getting much sleep these days, so. And this weekend, I'll be at, on Friday and Saturday night, I'll be at the Tuscan Moon, Italian bistro or steakhouse on 5th Street in Kelowna, beautiful downtown Kelowna, Iowa. Not hard to find, just go to what says Business District, and you'll see the more ornate, vines growing up around the little gateway, and it's that's Tuscan Moon in Kelowna. So I'll be there. Supposed to be there at 6, so I'll probably be there by 6:30, and I'll probably go till 9:30 or so playing guitar. But it's a wonderful little restaurant. My advice is if you do want to go there for a romantic getaway, you make reservations because they can really only handle 100 people. And so I find it interesting that in a little town like Kelowna, I'd say that a one-horse town because it's actually an Amish community, so there are horses and buggies parked along the street. So, but a little town like that, you can't necessarily get into the fancy restaurant in town. But I mean, it's a destination for foodies and people. People drive from faraway exotic locations like Des Moines and, of course, Muscatine. But sometimes they come from Illinois. There's a couple who was from Minnesota. They always stop by on their annual pilgrimage. I think to and from. I don't know where they go, but they take a little tour and they end up in Kelowna for an evening. It's become a destination, and I'm all part of the fun, I guess. I just sit at one side of the room and play guitar, but I don't, talk or anything like that, tell any jokes. I just play guitar. Don't cause any trouble. But also I'm at the Journey Church in Coralville, right off of Oakdale Boulevard. Easy to find. On Sunday mornings, things start at 10:30. I usually get there a little early and play guitar. So I play guitar for them. It's not, it's not my religion or anything, but I'm a music guy there. So I provide music. It's very nice, all-inclusive, emergent church. They're trying to, serve the people who come there. Trying to it's an interesting concept. Emergence is an interesting thing. I think about it a lot. In science, it's how things organize themselves. The analogy is someplace in London, for instance, they have somebody sets up a little stand by the side of the road to sell flowers, and somebody else thinks that's a good idea, so they set one up across the street. And then, after 100 years or more, it turns into this massive flower district because it just, it organizes itself naturally as opposed to being sort of pre-planned. So, I'm sure that the minister of this church plans his sermons and everything. He actually reads them, so he must write them. But anyway, so I say I'm not there for the religion, but I'm there to do the music. And a lot of people are, they're very accepting of different people with different backgrounds. Gay people are there, lesbians. So that's nice. If you want to get your church fix for a Sunday morning, you can go to Journey. different intervals in between notes cause certain psychological, effects. So, there's nothing more straightforward and honest than the fifth. So, there's the octave, of course, but so if I go like, see, here's my A minor chord, here's an E, the fifth. See, and what if I mess with the fifth? So I went too far. It's supposed to go to an E sharp. Stuff like that. Anyway, this is. If you listen to music, if you learn more about music, you study like what feels good. Study musicology is like a study of what sounds good or bad, or what affects you in different ways. People. Oliver Sacks had kind of a fun book called Musicophilia, and he's a neuroscientist. He's done research on the brain. Now you can scan people's brains and see what's happening inside their heads with various stimuli, including certain kinds of music. So, sorry, I'm so tired. You can figure out, wow, that sounds good. Why does that sound good? It's an interesting concept. If I violate your expectations. If I, instead of playing a perfect fifth, I play a flat five. How about if I'm augmented? So there's these, I could say there are two kinds of music. Probably more than that. But there's program music and absolute music. So absolute music is just music for its own sake. No specific purpose for it. It's just music. And program music is stuff like, in the old days, they want a fanfare. So when the Duke enters a room, some fellows get out some big old horns and they play a fanfare to announce, here comes the Duke. you know, or you could have now you have movie music and stuff. And I was just reflecting. I did the music for a public TV show, Iowa public television show called Iowa Ingredient. It's a show about food and restaurants and food and stuff. And I did all this incidental music. So what they needed was they needed about 12 seconds of something kind of swingy, jazzy guitar for, you know, when they pull up to the restaurant with a van or something like that. They want because it's a TV show. They have all these little clips, and oh, that's weird, man. Look at this. Yeah. Anyway, so you know, they wanted me to do all these different little things, and of course I did. You know, I did a whole bunch of homework. Actually, I did a bunch of studying, and then I, you know, and thinking about it, and they also wanted it to sound kind of like this other bit of music they couldn't use because they had to own the copyright themselves. So I studied the other music and say, well, what's it about this music that makes it compelling, captivating, and fun, and kind of swanky uptown, like a sort of a swing thing. There's a violin and and I guess I have a violin, but I don't play it very well. So I just did all with guitar and bass guitar. So I went there and mandolin. I went there with a mandolin, you know, a jazz guitar and a bass guitar. So. I'm sorry, I'd do it again. So, you know, I tried to make up a tune that had the same flavor as this other piece, but didn't sound like it and could not be. It could be original, so they wouldn't have to worry about copyright issues, and they could own the copyright to this stuff. And then I did a bunch of variations on it, you know, a more slow, you know, kind of reflective version of the same tune, a more upbeat one, just a fragment of it, just like a finger-picky thing, you know, with a chord progression, no melody. Just a little arpeggio of the chords and stuff, and all these little bits that they could use. And so they had a whole bunch of these files in their computer that they could plug them in to various video clips for the series. And this is an ongoing series, Saturday night or Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. I don't know, a TV show about restaurants and things in Iowa. So that was program music, and that was composed to elicit certain feelings. So people be watching TV, and not to be it's not about the music, it's about the show, so the music was incidental. That's what they call it, incidental music. So incidental to the program. If anything I'm saying makes any sense. So anyway, so if you do have a job scoring something, you know, what would be appropriate? That's the question. So, Mr. Skobinski, sir.
Yeah, that's good to point out the distinction between abstract and program music, as you just were. I was in the control room, and when you started talking about program music, what popped into my mind, I like movies, and of course I have a background in music, so I'm always listening to the music in motion pictures. And what popped into my head was the old 1930s Flash Gordon serials. The one with Buster Crabbe has wonderful background music.
Huh.
It's actually it's a kind of a Wagnerian concept. It was kind of something Wagner introduced in the 19th century into Western classical music. It's the German term for it is durchkomponiert. I think that I don't know how to pronounce it, but it means through composed. In other words, up to Wagner's time in Western classical music, there was a lot of repetition of whole sections, like this sonata form. You bring in melody A, melody E, theme B, and bring it to a climax, and then repeat it, and then go on to the development section. But Wagner's concept was music that was just kind of ongoing, without repetition, just this constant flow of music. And whoever did, I'm sure it's in the credits. I can't think off the top of my head who the composer was for the Flash Gordon serials, but that's basically the technique he's using. And it's just gorgeous stuff. And I'll sit there. To me, I always am watching and listening, and I recommend that to a lot of people, because I don't think a lot of people realize how important music is to film and to motion pictures, and how it elicits part of the whole experience you have. It may be on a subliminal level, you may not be aware of it, but and I know that's been brought to, like, when they talk about the composer Bernard Herrmann, who did a lot of the Hitchcock movies. I've seen things where they show the famous shower scene from I can't remember the movie, but the
Psycho.
Psycho, yeah, with Janet Leigh in the shower. Yeah, both with and without the music, and it's just of course, great film can parlay tension and storytelling and everything without a soundtrack, and sometimes it's good to watch a movie with the sound turned down so you can actually see how it's put together as far as the editing and stuff. But when you merge it with music, and it's just incredible. But yeah, so if anybody's curious out there to hear really good background music, and of course it's all brings out the tension of the ongoing plot and stuff, and it's this wonderful music of those old. The one I think there were several Flash Gordon serials, but I'm thinking about the one with Buster Crabbe playing Flash Gordon, and there's a wonderful actress who played Dale in the first two, and Jean Rogers. Oh my gosh, she was gorgeous. And then the third one, somebody else did that role who was also quite well in it. But it's wonderful music. Durch Komponiert.
There's I say one thing is I know that the music is really powerful, and I remember when I was a kid, we'd be swimming in the pond, and like everybody saw Jaws except for me because I didn't want to see. I didn't care. I didn't want to get that in my head. They're bluegills in the water, they're like little fish, and so you go. And people would panic, and also like times you go skinny dipping, so you go like. People would get, I don't know, but it was powerful. But the other thing is, I say the music you're talking. I was listening to somebody being interviewed, or maybe somebody was talking about something on the radio once, and they were talking about somebody having the courage to write pieces that didn't repeat at all, that their pieces just kept going and developing, and which is interesting to me because I took that to heart because I was like I played something earlier where I was going like and that didn't actually repeat. There were certain phrases that repeat, but they do different things. So as an antidote to my looping, which I do like to do a lot, I like looping. I get to lay down a first guitar part and then repeats over and over again. And so many things, in music are like that. You have a song with first, chorus, or AAB, or maybe it's even something really simple. Like I was demonstrating the looping to somebody where you just do two measures. And then just do as much as you can with two measures, like yeah. I can go on like that for a while. But as an antidote to that, I've done things where I start making something up and I just sort of go with it. And I don't ever, and I also end up somewhere completely different from where I started. Maybe a different key, different time signature. But I try not to make it, like flaky. I'm trying to make it good. I try. So it's an interesting concept. There are a lot of different ways to make music. And having said all that, I also know there's such a thing as New Orleans funk that somebody was telling me about, and because I was offered a job in a funk band, and the guy described the job as like loading a van at 4:30 in the morning in Rock Island, Illinois, and when the money gets all counted out, $45 a piece for a long night at work, and really you'd make more than that, substantially more than that working at Hy-Vee as a bag boy. Anyway, so I might have taken the job, but they wanted me to play guitar. And if I could play funk, bass, if I could play bass guitar in a funk band, I think I might do that but anyway. So I guess what I'm all nattering on about is but New Orleans funk is one chord the whole way through. They have a real strong rhythm thing. They have one chord that everybody, fixates on and does whatever they do. So there's a lot of stuff going on, obviously. But there's no chord change.
So many things you can do with music.
I suppose, yeah. Well, when I was a young fellow, people were saying that melody is dead. All the melodies have been taken. And Mozart got all the good ones and nothing left over for the rest of us. And so now it's all about rhythm and stuff. I was thinking, I don't think so, man. There's a lot. And other people, I was sitting around with a couple other classical guitarists, and one guy was saying that pretty much everything's been recorded to death that they have. I said, but what about like transcribing other music? Somebody had just transcribed Appalachian folk songs for classical guitar and flute, and I heard a recording of that, somebody's project, and it sold some copies, I suppose. So, well, I mean, there's so much stuff you could do. And classical guitar often is, a lot of the older music, of course, the classical guitar really hasn't existed since, it started to exist maybe 1800 or so, give or take. And it's the form that, it's evolved some since, but the 6 strings and the tuning and everything pretty much standardized in that time. So anything like Bach didn't have a guitar. There was a Baroque guitar, but it was a strummy thing they used in Southern Europe. They had the lute. So you transcribe lute stuff for guitar. And it's close, requires some editing issues because their lute has a lot more strings, but and it's not the same. Also, it sounds different because Bach didn't have that big dynamic range. Lutes don't have that big dynamic range that a guitar does, and it's a different thing. It's like the harpsichord as opposed to the piano. That doesn't have a dynamic range. The harpsichord is you push the key, that's it, ding. Push it hard, push it soft, the same thing. It plucks the string. Piano, you can ding, ding, ding. You can hit it all kinds of different ways.
Piano e forte.
Yeah, piano forte. But and then of course the guitar, especially the ones since the 1860s, the Torres classical guitar, has a huge dynamic range. You can make it really loud or really soft. You can vary the tone quite a bit by playing closer to the bridge. Or closer. This is called Ponticello. It's called sul tasto. And of course, and also this different strokes.
Ponticello means at the bridge, right? Playing down at the bridge.
Yeah, Ponticello, playing at the bridge. Sul tasto,
That's where we
over
get
the fingerboard.
our word pontoon from, the military bridges. That's the root that means bridge in Latin languages.
The pont, but then tune. Yeah. I want to figure out what some of these, like ola, like Indian ola. What's ola? I know ola is high in Spanish, but but in the context of Indianola or payola, or that's the ola thing. What's that all about? I should look that up. Where's Bob when you need him?
Yeah, where is Bob when you need him?
He should be coming back pretty soon.
We'll have a list of things for him to do when he gets back.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Bob at all for a long time now.
Are we streaming? Are we continue to stream on the internet?
I hope so. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, yeah, and I should probably get back in the control room so we don't go over like we did 2 weeks ago. But I just wanted to mention too, I haven't given up on the A, B flat, C clarinet thing. Yeah. It's just turning out a little bit more complicated than I thought.
Oh no!
It's got to do with the shape of the clarinet. It overblows. In other words, to get the overtones above the fundamental notes, it goes to the 12th instead of the octave, so that brings in a difficulty. And then there's what they call the gap or the bridge. It's an area of the clarinet that has to go from one part of the register to another, and it's very all these keying mechanisms have been created, and they're different on both the A and the B flat clarinets, and so there's a lot of issues like that come in that makes it a transposing instrument and makes it a little tricky to write for. So I'm still in the process of accumulating that and to simplify it so that we can all benefit from what I come up with. So. But I'm still working on it. At some point on Tom's Guitar Show, we can clear that little issue up.
Well, perhaps you can enlighten me. Ed Leff, the mandolin player who's been on the show a bunch of times, he's kind of interested in klezmer music, as I am. And
heavily relying on clarinets.
Yeah, very much. And I think, who do I know who plays clarinet? Well, my boss up at the college, the department chair.
Yeah, there's usually one of those around in music departments. Yeah, that's...
clarinet guy, yeah. Well, I go to my boss's office and say, hey, man, you want to play some klezmer?
I'll bet you, yeah. I would imagine a clarinet player would jump in an opportunity, something like that.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I'd like to do that. I'd like to, I think that's where the clarinet really gets to shine. That's really clarinet. I don't know what a guitar player would do, but think of something, I suppose. Maybe just play the string bass, and oompa on the bottom or something, but...
So you're going to act as a middleman to try to bring a couple of different musicians together to get some klezmer music happening?
At least maybe a few, you know. I don't know. Maybe an accordion player or something too. I don't know. I don't know, just one guy. Like I've been working on. He's a student of mine, and we've been working on klezmer music. We have a couple of books, and you know, of klezmer music. And this good guy Ed has a book also. I gave him actually one that was easier to read and decipher than the one he had. And so we've spent some time working through this stuff and trying to get the accentuation and everything. It's fun, anyway. So,
yeah, and if this gentleman, you know, your boss, as you describe him at Co., being a college person, might be open-minded enough to try something like that. It'd be a great thing to.
Maybe he's done it before.
Maybe he's done it before.
I believe he's of Hebrew persuasion, and he's into it.
Okay.
You know, practicing and everything, and it's a big part of his life, I think. So,
Great.
And he's a clarinet player. He must have come across it somewhere along the way. So.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be fun to hear something like that. So
I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can arrange it. I'm always looking for these little thrills. You know, I don't really harm anybody with my little ideas. Like having class. This is Classical Guitar Month on Tom's Guitar Show. So
just starting today.
that's right. We could make an April
And
Fool's
we
joke.
are, and we should clarify. We are serious about this. This is not an April 1st kind of thing.
Yeah,
We're dead serious about this. That April is classical guitar month.
Well, that's not enough of a joke. I don't think that.
No,
I mean, you know, if it were like, I could make up I don't know. I can't make up a joke about April Fools. That's too obvious. You see, I have to come up with a more obscure, strange jokes for some reason. I don't know why. You know, like there's a frog on your head, April Fool. I mean, that's not going to be my style. You know, I mean, this will be Classical Guitar Month, April Fool. That's not funny. You know,
No, not at all. Yeah.
This is the month or I'll play trumpet all month. You know, that would be a joke. But anyway, so I was playing cello last night. I kind of got the cello out, trying to show the student of mine some of the things about the cello. So I got out a cello that I happen to have in the next room we call the cello room, and I started playing away. And and after a while, it started sounding half decent. But I mean, I have a very limited background in cello, but playing guitar every day and playing the string bass and having started the violin, the cello is sort of.
You put it all together.
Yeah, and the bow. I mean, the bow is like the French bow and the string bass, only a lot easier to handle. So it was kind of pretty. I mean, so I enjoyed it. After a while, it started to sound pretty nice. A guy gave me a cello some months ago, and it's a student cello, kind of unusual one. It's very blonde. It's usually dark stained, but it's blonde. And so it's just, I don't know.
Cool.
Fun. No, I'm nattering on. I need more sleep. classical guitar. Let me try this piece. I'll be back next week. I always come back.